I have spent the past 24 years of my life trying to define what love means to me. I've always loved love. In fact, I actually spent 3 years of my college career interviewing people about love, about 6 hours a day, the entire 3 years. So when I moved to New York City, I was really excited about who and what may help me define my own definition. I officially flew the nest and moved to New York City and started working 5 jobs. Not the most glamorous lifestyle, but I'm a struggling actor, YOLO. And I was convinced that this was the right step to help me land a place on Broadway and potentially find the love of my life. And as soon as I got comfortable with the chaos that I had created, I was thrown a bit of a whirlwind. My dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. Things in life can never be easy, right? Papa Steiger has always been the one that I turned to. In fact, he was actually the first person who found out that I lost my virginity. That is true. He was also the person who uninhibitedly told me how much he hates my tattoos. And he also was the one who informed me that it doesn't take 2 hours to do 1 line of cocaine. Like, the guy who abandoned me in his Hollywood apartment for 2 hours told me was the reason he was gone that long. In my dad's words, "Emma, I've done more cocaine than any of your friends have or ever will do. It doesn't take that long." Thank you, Dad. Right after the bottom fell out, I met Ryan, a man who is 16 years older than I am. He had been married twice and had 2 kids from each marriage. That's 4 kids. And I started staying up late. I was drinking a little bit too much, and I stopped seeing my friends, but I had love and support, so why did it matter, right? He also convinced me to cut dairy, gluten, and grains out of my diet. Pretty much the only comforting thing, right? But it didn't matter because I had the distraction from the trauma of my dad's diagnosis, and he brought me love and support, so that's what mattered, right? Well, when I wasn't spending my time with him, I was spending time with my roommate's emotional support animal, Lucy, the ugliest thing I have ever seen. To call her a dog is actually generous. She looked like a rat who had been stepped on so many times that her tongue actually hung out the side of her toothless mouth. But it brought her love and comfort, so I figured maybe that was what I needed, except cuter. So I took some polls on Instagram because naturally that's what you do with a time of crisis. And my fans naturally voted that this was a great idea. My father, on the other hand, was horrified. I mean, he said, "Emma, don't justify this decision with my diagnosis. It's impulsive." Right, it absolutely was impulsive. I mean, adopting a dog is actually a huge deal. It's pretty much like having a child. So maybe this wouldn't help fix everything. But nonetheless, I did have a day off the next week. So I went to a bunch of shelters and visited various dogs, but I really wanted to find my soulmate. None of those shelters really provided my partner in crime. In fact, I actually found dogs that were more like horses and would probably kill me instead of killing me. But I mean, it is what it is. I was a little bit defeated on my walk home, but I did come across a shelter called Animal Haven, which is right above Chinatown. I took a tour of their facilities, and I chose 3 dogs that I wanted to meet. The first one was Cloudy, a small white Maltese mix. And I thought Cloudy was the one immediately. I mean, he was friendly, he had white curly fur, he had big blue eyes, and a smile that was definitely one of the lady killers. But I did find out that Cloudy had been returned twice for territorial issues. And given the fact that that was a pattern in my dating life, and I was still trying to deal with the possessiveness of my own boyfriend, I figured that probably wasn't the greatest decision. So I moved on to the next one. Leggy, that's actually her name. Leggy was a bug-eyed collie mix, and her legs were long as hell. I mean, it's like me, so like it was fine. But Leggy was really great. I mean, her eyes kind of looked like they were gonna pop out of her head, but it didn't matter because she was really cute and sweet. But something didn't feel right. There wasn't really a spark. And then they brought out her sister, Nettie. Nettie was a Dachshund Cocker Spaniel mix. She was a red-haired babe with doe eyes that clearly had a lot of stories behind them, I guess you could say. She was awesome. I mean, this was my dog. She was friendly, overly social, but guarded with specific people. She was super cuddly, perhaps giving a little bit too much attention to some people as well. And she played with her genitals until she was satisfied and could fall asleep, which kind of sounds familiar to you. I filled out the application, I waited to hear back, and it was endless. I mean, it took 3 days, which is a lot when you want a dog. First we had to arrange a meet and greet with Lucy, and once that was passed and they got along, I had to wait for them to call my building to approve that, or to make sure that the building actually approved dogs, which they didn't. So I had to get Nettie registered as an emotional support animal, and that requires having a therapist, which I did not have at the time. And so I had to have my godmother, who is a licensed therapist, write me a letter claiming that I really needed this dog. Needless to say, my application was declined. And I was really upset. I mean, I had gone through this, and I called Animal Haven, and they hadn't heard back, and so I sent probably too aggressive emails to my building telling them the ESA documentation was on the way, and it didn't do much. So I was depressed, and I kind of went into a slump, and I figured I would go to another adoption event in Union Square the next day. And that's when I got a call from Animal Haven. Hi, Emma. This is Animal Haven. We just wanted to let you know that your application for Nettie has actually been approved. I jumped on the Q train, at least I think it was the Q train. My eyes were so blurred with tears that I really was just guessing. But I did arrive panting and my face sticky with tears and sweat, and they brought Nettie upstairs and she jumped into my lap knowingly, and she licked the snot off my face, and I began bawling harder than I had since my dad's diagnosis. There's something about saving a life that's really overwhelming when you think you're losing one. And then I got sick a few months later, at the same time that Ryan and my relationship was really going downhill. His possessiveness had become so bad that it was affecting my other relationships, and I started to feel a little bit stuck. I put off ending things because I didn't want him to resent me for being there for me for the ups and downs of the past year. And when I finally did muster up the courage to do so, it wasn't really until he grabbed my wrist and threatened suicide that Nettie, who had been sitting on my lap the entire time and who had never even playfully chewed on a bully stick, snapped at him. They had not really ever gotten along, so I probably should have taken that as a sign that this relationship was not going to work. Nettie has been my rock for the past year and a half. She is my emotional support through the shitstorms of breakups and family illnesses and even the worst period cramps in the world. They say, and this is going to sound like a cliche, but they do say that everything comes together when you meet the love of your life, and it's true. My dad got better. He's in remission. I stopped working 5 jobs. And I realized that you don't really need the company of a toxic relationship to make you feel better, but rather a little ball of happiness to bounce around your apartment and greet you day and night. There's a reciprocation of love there that it cannot be matched. I need her, and she needs me, and everyone needs saving sometimes. And sometimes everything you need is sitting in your lap.